Hey out there, Dr. Paul Martin with Brilliant Life Chiropractic. Now, I think every chiropractor is unique and has something to offer, and one of the things I'd like to talk about today is what makes Brilliant Life Chiropractic a little different. And one of the things that does that is the framework of chiropractic that we use to adjust people. It's called, for short, it's called BGI, and that stands for Biogeometric Integration. It is the creation of or the discovery of the late Sue Brown, Dr. Sue Brown, um, and it has revolutionized the way that I adjust people and the care that we give. So I'd like to talk about that a little bit today. Some chiropractors tend to look at things from. I've already talked a little bit about the difference between medicine and chiropractic, and I've talked about the difference between mechanism and vitalism. BGI really takes on a whole new level of vitalism. Some chiropractors tend to look at things from a very reductionist standpoint anyway, and that reductionist standpoint is usually limited to pain. Back pain, neck pain, something is not functioning correctly, we're going to shove it back into place and then pain can get resolved. I have said before, and I see chiropractic differently than that. The framework of biogeometric integration really does help us understand on a deeper level, on a quantum physics level, how stress can store in the body. So basically, every experience that we have, well, it comes back to a quantum physics standpoint where everything is energy. Everything is energy, right? We know this through Einstein's theories as well as quantum physics. Everything's energy. And that includes every experience that we have is really just an interaction of energies. And what differentiates different energy is the tone or the frequency of the energy, or even the complexities of the energy that's showing up. Like what differentiates a table from me is the energies that are expressed. And arguably I'm more complex than a table. The table is not movable, it just sits there. And I am more complex. I can talk. I have biological processes that are occurring. That sort of thing. Now, with each experience that we have coming into us, that's the opportunity for that experience, that energetic structure, to become part of us. There isn't it doesn't just go away. These energies interact every time, and what we want to have happen, or what can happen is this energy can awaken new energetic structures within us. New pieces that may have lain dormant before become awakened. And that leads us to learn and grow from each experience that we have. We have the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to evolve. And this can happen consciously, it can happen unconsciously, and a lot of it happens just from the actual fact of those things merging together just awakens new patterns within us. Now, the subluxation, which is the clinical entity that chiropractors look for, which has previously been described as simply a bone out of place putting pressure on a nerve. It's a very simple explanation. But why does that happen? And so if you look at it from this standpoint, as soon as that information comes in, if we integrate it completely, then great. We get to learn, we grow, and we evolve from that experience, and it's awesome. But let's say we don't. What happens then? The energy doesn't just go away. That energy still becomes a part of us, but it gets stuck. It gets stored in the system, and it gets stuck that way. And that stuckness decreases our overall flexibility. If you can imagine, when that tension is created, then we're less able to deal with the very next thing that can come in. So it creates this distortion. And this is an energetic distortion. Like one instrument that's out of tune in the entire symphony. When that happens, you can still hear it, right? You can still hear that one instrument that isn't quite working right, and it disrupts the whole symphony. Just like one subluxation keeps us from achieving that perfect health scenario. And so, if it stays stuck, then what happens is that distortion shows up physically in our bodies as a bone that might be shifted out of alignment, as tension that goes directly onto nerves, as tight muscles that are stretched over this bony distortion. Ligaments can do the same thing. The fascia becomes tight all the way through. And all of those things interfere with our body's ability to function. Now, the purpose of the adjustment isn't just to shove a bone back into place, because that doesn't get to the root cause of what's creating that bone being out of place. This awareness, the biogeometric integration awareness, allows us to, both Dr. Laelle and myself, allows us to get to the root of it. we you know, by accessing that underlying distortion and helping that to release, what happens is the body then integrates that old experience, giving us another chance to learn, grow, and evolve from that experience. And when that happens, then that tension eases. The bones will naturally come back. Now sometimes that tension is stored in that structure, in the bony structure, and that's when you have the adjustment that looks more like you know, something that gives off that cracking sound. But if it's located more in soft tissue, like ligaments or fascia, or even like muscle tendons and that sort of thing, the adjustment looks much more like a light fingertip pressure, mostly to bring awareness of the system to this pattern and help the body realize that it's there, so that it can then take it and go, oh yeah, that, I can work with that, I can release that. And so you'll see in practice sometimes all I'm doing is very lightly touching somebody. And that's often what we do with babies too, but it works with adults. And that accesses a particular kind of pattern. When it releases, the body has this new opportunity to heal as the energetic structures become integrated in a much more holistic way, and not as a tense sort of way, but in a cooperative sort of way. Now the tension comes off of the nerves, the bones are not in misalignment anymore, and the body can function greater as a whole. And that's really what we're looking for, and that's the difference that biogeometric integration brings to the table for chiropractic. It's not just shoving a bone back into place. It's not just working with like a muscle that's tight. It really goes to a deeper underlying level of why we get subluxated in the first place. And this whole thing is called the potential energy theory of subluxation. It is the first thing that I heard that made sense to me holographically, holistically, bringing in the entire picture of health, of experiences, of quantum physics, all of that coming together and being congruent all the way through. There were always disconnects for me in every other system until this explanation. So that is the framework that we use to adjust here at Brilliant Life Chiropractic. I'm going to put a link to the biogeometric page in the description. Yeah, I hope you guys will check it out. As a reminder, not next week, but 2 weeks from tomorrow, tomorrow being March 7th, 2 weeks from there, I will be hosting a play shop at Brilliant Life Chiropractic, all about exercise, all about how to incorporate exercise into your life, and what to incorporate and what you don't need to, and why you do exercise in the first place, and what it can't do for you. Basically, bring questions. It's going to be at Brilliant Life Chiropractic, 708 Broadway, Suite 170, starting at 7 o'clock. And it'll go for about an hour, but I'll stick around for, you know, however long it takes to answer questions. You can go to Eventbrite to register, so I encourage you to do that so I know how many people are coming. All right, thanks. Take care, everyone, and remember, you deserve a brilliant life. Let it shine.